Hello friends, welcome to my channel. I'm Minerva, and in this video, I am sketching a piece based on the cyberpunk juggernaut manga slash movie Akira by Katsuhiro Otomo. This is a sketch in that I was aiming to emulate Otomo's extremely technical style. It is not a finished piece, it was more an exercise. So I used a 5.5 inch by 8.5 inch piece of Bristol paper by Strathmore. I also used a combination of Sakura Micron fine liners, the Fudenosuke brush pens, and the G-Nib dip pens. I've linked them on the description box below. So here I already roughly sketched out my composition, an overpowered Tetsuo reaching out to Kaneda, who is on his iconic motorcycle. I quickly moved to ink once the major elements were laid down, and then I used my Fudenosuke brush pen to lay down the foreground elements and the initial speed lines. The flexible brush tip let me lay down fast but really expressive lines. Then for the finer areas, I switched to the G-Pen nib. In my enthusiasm, I blopped and flung out some ink. Whoops. But I recently just got back into using dip pens because it's a really good medium between a fine liner and a brush or a brush pen. I am very heavy-handed, so a nib gives me better control on line weight. Also, I really like the scritching noises. If one day I get the house to myself, I will definitely do an ASMR video solely for the scritching noises. I kept moving throughout the page so I could make sure everything's touched. Back in high school, I'd focus on one area until it was perfect, but then be completely demotivated when I found out that I still had the rest of the page to do. So never again. I often pause to refer to my references to see how Otomo handled this organic hot mess that is Tetsuo. It's always good to have references on hand, especially if you're trying to emulate or draw something realistically. And so, once I had some good texture down, I switched to brush to fill in some black areas. I really do love filling in black areas. It's soothing, and more importantly, it creates negative space that pushes other elements to the foreground. And I specifically wanted the laser from Kaneda's gun to cut through, so I made sure its path was mostly black. There were times I went over areas that are already textured up with black. I'm still learning when to go straight to black instead of wasting my time filling in areas with texture. So here now at this point, it's any pen's game. I'd switch among my other tools based on what needs to be adjusted, but I love coming back to the G pen, mostly because of the scratching noises. Once a majority of the black ink was down, it's time to put some white back into the picture. I used Pro White by De La Roni. I thinned down my pot of white ink with some water. It's water-based anyway, so that I could use it with my dip pen and or a brush, depending on what I needed to use it for. And in this video, I really struggled to open up that little pot because a lot of it has dried and stuck to the lid. The arcing laser was the one sure thing that was going to be painted back in white. Usually I'd use the white to take care of any errors, like that black blop, but I kind of conveniently forgot about it. Also, it was still kind of wet when I was working in the white. If you made it this far, thank you very much for sitting with me. Let me know in the comments below if you've seen the movie Akira or read the manga, and which one do you prefer? Thank you for watching this video. If you want to support, please consider clicking that subscribe button and activating the notification bell.